Standing at 5,895 meters above sea level, Mount Kilimanjaro is the tallest mountain in Africa. Every year, thousands of hikers from all over the world trek towards its summit, facing the challenge of a lifetime. But what does it really take to climb Kilimanjaro? In this adventure, I will be walking Kilimanjaro's northern route over 8 days and 7 nights. At 88 kilometers, this is the longest and newest route. It begins on the western side of the mountain at the Londorossi Gate and then crosses the Shira plateau before following a northerly route around the mountain to the Kibo huts. From there, we will ascend the summit. We have chosen this route because the extra days above 4,000 meters altitude gives us a much better chance to acclimatise and therefore succeed than shorter routes such as the more well-known Machami route. My journey begins here at the Springlands Hotel in Moshi, where our guides from Zara Tours will pick up our group. We will travel by four-wheel drive along country roads, stop in small towns, each one offering a glimpse into daily life in Tanzania. As we drive closer towards Kilimanjaro National Park, the scenery transforms. Green fields give way to exotic pine plantations that cover the lower slopes of the mountain. After entering the national park, we will drive up to the Londorossi Gate, where we will check in with park officials. Then we will continue up the rough, dusty road that will take us to the trailhead. And so we arrive at the trailhead, our first step into the wilderness of Kilimanjaro. So I'm standing here on the beginning of the Shira Plateau wilderness, and we begin the first stage of our hike up Kilimanjaro here. We're going to walk to a camp known as Shira Camp 1. Now, sometimes some of the larger animals like eland and buffalo come up to this plateau. They're rarely seen though, they generally stay away from people, but let's hope we see one. We can see evidence of this. These are actually the footprints of some type of buffalo. So these guys are the porters, they're the real champions on the mountain. They go really super fast and they carry all the gear on their heads, including like toilet, food, everything you can imagine. And they also I think they take shifts of 2 days on, 2 days off. So every second day we will have fresh food on the mountain. Now the volcanic rock on this part of Kilimanjaro is quite different from the volcanic rock I've seen in New Zealand. It's much older and has been more weathered, so I think that's why it looks a bit different. An interesting feature here is all these lava bombs that are everywhere. They must have come here from a past eruption. Now Kilimanjaro, like many mountains, it's got several rivers, and this river here has cut a gorge through the volcanic landscape. Look at this, it is amazing. So this rock formation here, it looks like it's the end of an ancient lava flow. But what's interesting here is because Kilimanjaro is so high, you can see evidence of frost shattering, which is from freeze and thaw processes. So in this rarefied mountain air, you get thirsty very quickly. You've got to drink lots when you're climbing a mountain like this if you want to be successful. So just after an hour and a half's walking, we have finally arrived at Shira Camp 1. Looks like a bit of a tent city, but there does appear to be a couple of huts there. Check it out. And here it is, Shira Camp 1. The elevation's a little bit higher than I was told. It's actually 3,110 meters. And the vegetation zone is moorland. Now here's our campsite for our group. there's a lot of other groups up here as well. So this room here, or tent, is actually the mess hall. And one of the things they're doing in the afternoon, you can hear some porters singing some really cool songs. And you can also see that we've got some coffee and even a ginger tea. Look at that.
And Milo.
I know, and Milo. This is Gavin, one of our tour party. So these ones here are impatiens flowers, and they are commonly found here on Kilimanjaro. So this wildflower here, for example, is commonly known as an everlasting, but it's also known as the hygrishum species. So this plant here is called Erica borea, and it's quite similar to some of the sort of alpine plants we have in New Zealand. Okay, it's morning on Mount Kilimanjaro, and I've just experienced a very cold night at 3,600 meters. If you just walk around the site, you'll see that we've had a bit of a frost fall on the ground. You can see that these, flowers have suddenly got a bit of ice on them. The grass has got a bit of ice on it. And even some of the soil has gone like very hard. If I just put my foot there, it's all crunchy. We've had it's almost like ice crystals have formed. Absolutely freezing. One of the most crucial things that you need in the camp is a toilet. We had to hire a toilet from Zara tours. So we got our own loo for our group. Let's take a look inside. It's been kept in a very good condition. Here's the important piece of equipment. So yeah, a lot of good times to be had in there. Okay, so today we are leaving Shira Camp 1. We're heading up to Shira Camp 2, which is an elevation of about 3,900 meters. The hike is going to take about 5 or 6 hours. We're not doing the normal route. We're going to detour to a place called the cathedral, which is some sort of volcanic feature. Yeah, so I guess we'll see what we're going to see. So we are now at our detour. This is the start of the cathedral route. So it's a little detour, and then we'll make our way back to the track. Here's some evidence of some scats from a jackal. So the fact that jackals are present here also indicates that there's prey here as well. Now we can see the cathedral as we're approaching it. The cathedral is the bigger peak in the middle here. between those more sharp, pointy ones. Now we begin our ascent of the cathedral. We're climbing the saddle now. You can hear from my breath. Finding it quite tough on their lungs. Okay, this is the final part. This ridge line along the saddle of the cathedral. Oh my goodness. What is quite deceiving. Looks nice and flat on one side, but on the other side is the abyss. And I can see ahead of me the sign saying at the top. So let's get there. There's the clouds on one side and clear on the other. Absolutely glorious. And in a minute I'll have a read, see what the altitude is. I think it's about 3,900. In fact, I can see my colleague Gavin giving off a victory cry. It is 3,872 meters above sea level. Oh dear. Absolutely mighty. Here is something that I've been wanting to see for years. This is the Senecio, also known as the Kilimanjaro tree. And if you just come down here, you can see that there's some more growing down in the valley here. I mean, these trees are just otherworldly to me, fantastic. At last, we finally come to Shira Camp 2. So this is where we are staying tonight. So every night our guides measure our blood pressure and our oxygen levels. And what it's got to do with is just to see how we're coping with the altitude. Okay, here we go. Just got to put this on me. Okay. So will you put it on the farm? Yes. Okay, so we do the oxygen level first, is that right? Yes. Yep. Just both. Okay, so some weird numbers come up on here.
Just give it like a minute.
Okay, yep, give it about a minute.
Ready? 92, 92, 92.
92? Ooh!
Yeah, oxygen level 92, and your pulse is 90.
90. So,
yeah, 92, 90.
So this is actually quite good. So anything, what is it, above 90 was really good, or was it above
oxygen.
80?
Oxygen.
Oxygen level above 90 is very good. Yeah.
Okay, this is very good. So far I'm doing quite well.
And below 60, it's bad. It's not
bad.
Good.
Okay, so at least I'm not bad yet. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Thank you.
It's good.
That's right. And basically there's a whole lot of paperwork got to do. Just talking about, yeah, just got to fill this in. This is
day two today.
Shira 2.
Oh, we filled it all out in the wrong one.
6:30. On a scale, I'm feeling probably a bit more like a 9. Oxygen was it 92 or 93?
92.
92. That's good. That's a bit better than yesterday.
92, 90.
Yep. And our blood pressure was 90. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Actually got better.
The pulse rate.
Yeah, the pulse rate, I mean. Yeah, pulse rate, not blood pressure. What does this say? No. No headaches, no nausea,
Guys, just remember that every
no
day.
shortness of breath.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have your own
No
paper.
diarrhea, but
Just make
close.
sure that every day
Zero.
you sign
Um,
your paper.
So
No, I have not vomited.
Right.
My appetite is
Today I think you just
average.
sign like 2 people at one paper.
Medication.
Which is good. So you need to keep record
Yes, I am.
for everyone. Everyone record.
Okay, here we go. So we're just commencing day 3 of our hike up Kilimanjaro. Today we are leaving Shira Camp 2 and we are walking up to a volcanic feature known as the Lava Tower. That will get us to around 4,600 meters, which will be equal to the highest I've ever been. And from there we will descend to the Moor campsite, and then that whole thing will take about maybe 5 or 6 hours. It's a glorious day today on Kilimanjaro. You can see Mount Meru in the distance for the first time, and just coming around here should get an absolutely glorious view of the summit of Kilimanjaro. Now we've got a huge convoy of porters and clients hiking up to the Moai hut. So Kilimanjaro's got many examples of lava bombs. This one is a particularly impressive one. Now we're about 4,250 meters above sea level. It's the highest I've ever been without cheating. Starting to feel it in the lungs now. The plan is to go high today, but sleep lower. Helps us with the acclimatization process. So one of the things they say in Tanzania is poly, means to go really slow, go slow, go slow. Because if you try to go like a bat out of hell here, you're doomed to fail. If you go slow, you'll make it. Now we are approaching the junction for Moya Hut. We will return here later, but right now we're not going there. We're going this way. In the far distance, you can see the lava tower. And here we are at over 4,350 meters of Mount Kilimanjaro. We've got this other tour group living in the lap of luxury. Look at this. Hot coffee. Oh my, wasn't that good? It is a tough climb. I mean, look at this amazing scenery here. Looks like the land of Mordor in Lord of the Rings. Another thing you'll notice at this elevation is one of the effects of zonation. You'll notice that the vegetation is getting shorter and sparser. A lot of small plants, and if you look at some rocks like this one, there's some lichens just holding on, the only signs of life. Here's some more examples of some really cool lichens that are growing up at about 4,500 meters on Kilimanjaro. Over here we've got some rather interesting looking rocks. Now my lungs feel like they're bursting. And one of the interesting things up here is there's these little chipmunk-like mice up here. Not sure what they're called. I think one just went down, hid between these rocks. So I'll get closer on it. Here we go. Come on, little cutie, come to Papa. These little birds are known as the alpine chat. It's amazing what you can find at this altitude. We're about almost 4,500 meters above sea level. You can see a high altitude toilet here, and you can see another path. This is actually a junction to one of the other climbing routes. It's not the route we're taking. We're going to, of course, continue up this way to the lava tower. Now, we're now at the point where the lava tower should be coming into full view. The problem is a mist has rolled in, which often happens in the afternoon here. So let's hope that it goes away by the time we're up there. Okay, here's the lava tower now. It's finally come out to party. The mist has temporarily rolled away, so get it on footage while I can. Here's the mighty lava tower, almost there. So we've finally reached the lava tower camp at an elevation of 4,600 meters. This is the highest I've ever been. You can see there's quite a few tents here. And then you can also see the mighty tower. There's a danger sign because of rock falls. Oh, at last I could see the mule campsite. It's a very welcome site for us. On the way down, I had to put my camera away because it started raining and we even had a little bit of snow. We'll be there soon. It's approximately about 4,000 meters above sea level. It's the morning of day 4 of our climb. Today we're going to leave the mweka camp. Anyway, the aim today is we are actually going to cross over this saddle here, and then it's going to be pretty much a up and down day. We're going to go up, we're going to go down. There's going to be a bit of flat, more up, down, bit of flat, and then we're going to end up at the next campground, which is called the POV campsite. Now the trail's going over this ancient lava flow here. You can see this worn out part where the trail goes. And over here we've got these caves formed out of some erosion from over the top of an old lava tube. And here's the trek to the saddle. Finally up on the saddle, and if I pan to the left here, you can see what's ahead of us next. We got to go down a valley and then up the other side again. We've now come to a different side of the mountain. Things look quite different here. There's a lot of frost-shattered rock everywhere. Makes a real clanking sound. Reminds me a bit of the kind of rock you walk on in New Zealand's South Island. So they call this route that we're doing the Northern Circuit for a reason. It's because we're looking north towards Kenya, and it's a lot drier than the other side of the mountain. I think we're in a bit of a rain shadow area, so there's less snow on this side of the mountain as well. This ridgeline here marks the high point of our hike to our next campground. We're at about 4,380 meters above sea level. We're about halfway there now. Now, one of the awesome features of Kilimanjaro is there is plenty of obsidian. This is fully glass-like obsidian. Beautiful stuff. Another amazing rock can also be found on this mountain. Tanzanite, which is a bluish colour and is only found in Tanzania. This zone we're in here is what we call volcanic desert. It's very dry, very little plant life growing here, just a lot of rock. Our campsite's finally coming into view. Just got to get through this valley here. After 5.5 hours walking, finally arrived at the POF campsite. I'm quite relieved. I'm pretty tired. The last hour was a bit rough underfoot. But I'm here, I can relax now. This is sunrise over Mount Kilimanjaro on day 5 of our huge adventure. And here's the mountain. Look at this big sucker. Absolutely magnificent. So today we will be leaving this campsite, hiking about 4 hours. This is purposely designed to be an easier day so we can acclimatise and get us ready for the big push. It's so cold up here. You get the formation of ice needles, and the ice needles, they push small particles of soil up with them, which you can see on top, and then as the day warms up, they will melt, and then the little soil particles will roll down. This is kind of a form of periglacial erosion. One of the big issues you have when you're climbing a mountain like this is you got to drink a lot of water. We got to drink about 2.5 litres a day to keep hydrated, and that's on top of any coffee or juice that you might have. And that becomes a challenge because at night time it's extremely cold here, and I found myself, getting out of bed in the freezing cold 3 times a night. Coming into view, we have one of Kilimanjaro's peaks. It's called Mweka's. Now we're on the trail at 3,949 meters above sea level, and we've just come across buffalo poo at this altitude. So it's just amazing to think that, you know, animals that large come up here to graze. Today I'm feeling a lot better than I was yesterday. Yesterday I had some mild symptoms of altitude sickness. I was very out of breath. I was, you know, when we got up to about 4,500 meters, I was breathing very heavy. That night, I had sort of like, it felt like a pressure just coming down on my head, and I felt some light nausea. But I'm lucky I got off lightly. One of my colleagues in our group, he was just spewing and pooing all through the night. But fortunately, I've taken enough Diamox. I think I'm starting to adjust because what the guides have done is they've deliberately kept us at around 4,000 meters thereabouts for about 3 or 4 days so we can acclimatize before we make the big push. Here we are coming into the third cave campsite. In the distance here you can see porters who are hauling water all the way to the next campsite because there's no water up there. So here we are at Fairy Cave campsite, elevation 3,800 meters. That concludes day 5. So today we're commencing day 6 of our climb up Mount Kilimanjaro there. We are leaving the third cave campsite and we're going to go to a place called the Kibo campsite. And then of course tomorrow we'll be going up that ridgeline to the start of the crater rim. So anyway, that's the general direction we're heading today. So let's commence our walk. Now on this side of the mountain is a heck of a lot drier, and you can see a lot of these dried up little riverbeds. You can see evidence of where maybe in the wet season the water has eroded the loose material on this andesite cone. But yeah, on the other side of the mountain there'll be more likely to be water in the streams. Okay, our guide told us that buffalo even come as high as up here at over 4,500 meters above sea level. They come because there's caves up here and there's salt in the caves that they like to eat. And we'll get closer to it in a minute and have a look. But right here, you can see the hoofs. Under my shadow here, there's hoofs here. If you follow me along here, here's some real hard evidence. Here's a fresh poo, a buffalo pat, I'd call it, I suppose. You can see that. But then, following around, you can see the hoofs actually come towards the cave, and here is salt in its natural form. Check this out. Look at this amazing salt. When they come and lick it. Finally coming into view here is the Kibo hut. It's at an elevation of about 4,700 meters above sea level approximately. For me, this will be the highest I've ever slept in my life. We'll be sleeping in tents though, and it's from this location that we will begin our ascent up the mountain, which will look something like this. Okay, we're just coming into the Kibo camp now, and you can see the wildlife here, the white-collared ravens having a feed. And we come through, it's like a little village at almost 4,700 metres or maybe more. And you can also see, like buckets full of supplies the porters have brought up to the mountain. And there's even some more luxury accommodation up there that some guests are staying in, but as for us, will be in tents. Pretty epic. And here we got some advice to people attempting to climb this mighty mountain. Now this special little sign here has got a thermometer and a rain gauge, and it looks like at this point in time it's just over 10 degrees Celsius, but apparently tonight it could drop well below minus 10 degrees Celsius. One of the things I can see here from Kibo is one of the glaciers. Check it out. Now here's the sign giving us some details. So we're at an elevation of 4,720 metres. Vegetation zone, alpine desert. And it also gives us some distances. So we're about 5 hours walking to Gilman's Point, which is on the crater rim. And then Stellar Point, 4.5 k's, which is about 5.5 hours. And the Uhuru Peak, which is the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro, is about 6 kilometers, also 6 hours. We just woke up at 3 a.m. to get ready for our climb to the summit. We're going to leave at 4. Conditions are expected to be Arctic up there, as it's almost 6,000 meters above sea level. We're dressed to the hilt. As you can see, I am wearing a lot of clothes, down jacket, potty prop, everything you can imagine. Now, one of the strange peculiarities of climbing a mountain like this is what we're having for breakfast. We are having popcorn for breakfast, and that is because our guides told us that climbing to an altitude like the one we're going to be climbing to, we could end up spewing our content. So we're not allowed to drink milk this morning and not allowed to have anything heavy, and the snacks we're going to be carrying up there are quite going to be like little bits of chocolate here and there. So anyway, I'm going to have to turn this camera off for a while because we're going to be walking up in the dark until sunrise. Finally we can see the sunrise over Mount Kilimanjaro. It is about 5:45 a.m. Until this point it's been like a moonscape. I've just been walking in the dark looking at my feet. Haven't been able to see a thing, but now here it is. Put it away, guys. So it is 9:19. We've just made it to Gilman's Point, which is 5,688 meters. We started at 4 o'clock in the morning, so we've taken over 5 hours to get up here. We've got about an hour and a half to go to the summit.
Okay, sasa. Hebu mletee hiyo. Mletee hiyo kwanza hiyo.
The peak you see behind us is Uhuru. That is the summit. That is what we've been aiming for all day. I'm out of breath now. Feeling a little bit dizzy, but I'm going to make it. You hear that? I'm absolutely shattered. We're all gonna get there.
Putin.
What we are approaching now is Stella Point. It's 5,756 meters. We are not that far above the summit, which is to the right. This is an important spot because it is here that we have our way down. Just to the left of us, there is a trail where we will make it our way down later on. And over this ridgeline here, just after Stella Point, you can see some of a few tropical glaciers that remain in Africa. Here's the final ascent to the summit. It is in view. And just panning to the left here, I can see in the distance Mount Uhuru looking awesome, and I can see another magnificent glacier. This has been the hardest thing I've ever done, but it is well worth it. I'm absolutely shattered. Here's the summit. I'm almost there. Got about 20 meters to go. Oh my goodness. How many times I have not Getting to the top is not the end of the story. It's another 5 hours down to Millennium Camp for us. Not even there yet, I'm absolutely smashed.
From the camp we have like
For this camp, where do they get their water?
the same service.
Hakuna matata, huyu hapa ni Pita. Hakuna matata, yule pale ni Terry. Hakuna matata, huyu hapa ni Kevin. Hakuna matata, huyu hapo ni Simon. Hakuna matata, jambo jambo bwana, habari gani? Nzuri sana, wageni wakaribishwa Kilimanjaro, hakuna matata. Wanaume bomba bomba, bomba wanaume bomba bomba, bomba Pita bomba bomba, bomba Erini bomba.
So we're now at the start of day 8. We had a very, very torrid time coming down yesterday. All up, it ended up being a 12-hour day, and yeah, I was started carrying lots of niggling little injuries. I had sore ankle, really sore big toes, sore right knee, and we've had a very tight turnaround. We went to bed like at about 7 p.m. and we've had to get up at 6 a.m. but I've actually been up since 4:45. So we're leaving this campsite, which is the high camp, and then we're walking down to what is known as the Mweka gate. So at the moment we're in the moorland, and however in about 2 hours of walking we actually got to hit rainforest. So we're going to see a complete change. I'm quite looking forward to that section. And looking ahead here, you can actually see where the moorland vegetation gives way to rainforest. And there's some stunning alpine plants on this side of the range. So though we are still in moorland, you'll notice that the trees, they've got a bit taller, and there's these very long moss-like structures, furry things hanging down from them. I'm starting to see change in the vegetation as I go. Also getting plants like these ones. I don't know what they are, but definitely plants that were not at the higher elevations. I've just arrived at the Mweka gate. Elevation you can see is 3,100 meters above sea level. Now we're about to, after a short break, we're going to leave the moorland and head into the rainforest. Now, just barely 100 meters down from the Mweka camp, we have arrived in what looks like the start of rainforest. This is because we are at a lower elevation, and you can see that the trees are not only getting taller, but the species are changing as well. And we're starting to get much thicker undergrowth, you can see too. We're getting a lot of like cutty grass like plants and ferns. So we're now at around 2,300 meters. The rainforest is starting to get denser. The trees even taller. If I pan off to the left here, you can see there's a lot more sort of vines and climbers. So as we get to lower elevations, we start getting some of these forest giants. Now this mighty tree is called the African pencil tree. Look at that, huge. Coming closer to our tree here, you'll see these markings in the bark here. And that's, my guide tells me that some of the local people use this for traditional medicine. A significant moment, we have just reached the road. The end is nigh. We've got to walk down this road for a while. It's about 45 minutes walk to the gate. Some blue monkeys in the tree. You can hear them and see them. Here we go. Let's walk across the tree. Here he comes. There he is, up there. Here's tail. There he is. Beautiful little monkey. This one's not too bothered by our presence. Despite all the porters and other people walking down, he's sitting there very close to ground level. Okay, we've finally come to the end of our journey. It's been an epic adventure. And now I'm looking forward to going back to the Springlands Hotel where I can relax and have a beer, have a shave, brush my teeth. Behind me here some government buildings. We had to sign some papers here just to say we made it out alive. And shortly we're going to disembark on one of these vehicles out here and make our way back to the Springlands Hotel in Moshi.
Habari gani, nzuri sana, wageni, wakaribishwa, Kilimanjaro, hakuna matata, tulianza na Shira, hakuna matata, tukaja na hakuna matata, mbele walala, hakuna matata, hakuna matata, napofu tulilala, hakuna matata, na Fedi tukalala, hakuna matata, na Kibo tukalala, hakuna matata, Uhuru tulikwenda, hakuna matata, sema jambo, jambo bwana, habari gani, nzuri sana, wageni, wakaribishwa, Kilimanjaro, hakuna matata, huyu hapa ni Peter, hakuna matata, huyu hapa ni Kevin, hakuna matata, huyu hapa ni Simon, hakuna matata, yule pale ni Derry, hakuna hakuna matata.